Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Steven here. In today's tutorial, we're going to cover how to build a database schema in Power Apps by use of Copilot. So the main reason why I've decided to record this tutorial is because Power Apps is a tool that is not just for developers. It's for everyone across the entire organization, stemming from people in accounts, people in HR, etc., etc. So these people, if they're coming from different backgrounds, they don't necessarily have the technical prowess in terms of how databases work, but all they know is that I've got this issue. For example, I am in HR, and what I'm looking towards is maybe I want to track leave requests. I know how that process works. But if I'm coming from HR, I don't necessarily know SQL. I don't necessarily know Dataverse to say, okay, I need to create these tables, etc., etc. So in today's world where AI is everywhere and it's inbuilt in a lot of apps that we're using on a daily basis, how can we assist these individuals that are not technical, but now they need to be able to build applications and they need to be able to build database schemas because the applications that they're building, it's something that is maybe they're tracking in Excel. So if I am tracking my leave request in Excel, if I'm tracking my customer feedback in Excel or customer information in my Excel, how can we just translate that into a database schema? And then from there, we can build an app using Copilot. So I felt like this is something that would be beneficial not just to people with technical experience in terms of how to build databases, but for those people that are just in other industries, but they also want to appreciate or benefit more from the Power Platform. So before I dive into today's tutorial, the main question that we need to ask ourselves is, what exactly is this Copilot? And how best can we utilize it in order for us to actually benefit a lot from it? So Copilot, it's an inbuilt AI assistant inside of Power Apps. It is designed to help you build apps and databases by simply describing your business scenario. So what will happen is that you just tell it what kind of data you want to track. Like, for example, in the scenario that I gave earlier, that I want to track my leave requests, or I want to track my customer information or customer feedback. And what it does is it will take that and then generate tables, columns, and even relationships for you. It's like having a data architect who understands plain English, and it's built for everyone, not just for developers. So if you were to go back to my old tutorials, you'll see that the first thing that we ever do is we have to draw up a schema. So I would drop a schema, a database schema, and then from there we'll now go into our solution. And then in the solution, I'll say, okay, I want to create this table. Here's the column. Here's the data types for these columns. So that looks simple because at least I've got some knowledge in terms of how databases work. And I know that when I'm saying this is a one-to-many relationship, I know exactly what I'm talking about. But what we're going to cover today is how that entire process will be streamlined. But just because AI will handle everything by us just feeding in natural knowledge doesn't necessarily mean that I'm advocating to say just take everything that AI gives you and then take it that and then build an application. You also have to be able to go in there after it has given you the tables and the columns and then massage the data according to your liking. So I'm going to also demonstrate how we're going to do that. So without further ado, let's go to Power Apps and then see the Copilot in action. So in our solution, as you can see, we don't have anything in here. No tables, nothing. To create our tables using Copilot, what I'll do is I'll click on this drop down called New. I'll go to Tables, and then you see we have got three options here. The first one is for the Copilot. The second one is for the custom tables. And if you want to link to external data sources, for example, SQL databases, we can also virtualize the tables using the virtual table. But for our scenario today, we're going to use the first one. So I'll click on that. And as you can see, we can start with Copilot. If we have got the data in SharePoint lists, we can also import them here. And then we can also import from a CSV files, and then we can also have tables from blank. This is the custom way we are acquainted with. So for this tutorial, we're going to start with Copilot. I'm just going to paste in our prompt here. So what I've prompted is I want to build a system to manage leave requests. Please create the following tables: employees, with fields name, department, job title, and job title, leave requests with fields employee start date and end date, managers with fields name, department, emails, etc., and approvals with fields leave request, manager, approval, and the decision. I've also added in some breakdown to say the links between these tables is that each leave request should be linked to an employee so that one employee can have multiple leave requests. Each approval should be linked to an approval request and a manager. Employees and managers should be linked by department. Let's generate this and let's see what Copilot will dish out to us. So as you can see, Copilot has created the tables for us, and we have got the employees table, and we have got the manager department table here. We have got the employee table here. We have got the manager table here, and we have got the leave request and the approvals. And as I said, that one employee can have multiple leave requests, and one department can be associated with multiple managers and can also be associated with multiple employees. So this way of building tables is that you're not just limited to the tables that you're seeing here on the screen. If you have got a table that is already existing in the database or in your tenant, in your environment, you can also bring it into this scenario so that you can link it up to these tables that you're trying to create using AI. To do that, on top here, you see that you've got add existing tables. So let's just use accounts table, for example. And then boom, that accounts table will be added onto the list here. So if we want to add to make an association between the accounts table and approvals, what I'll do is that I can just select this accounts table, click on create relationship, and as you can see here, we can create a one-to-many relationship or a many-to-many relationship. So you can say I want to link this to manager, for example. When we do that, you see that now there's an association between these two tables. And the other cool thing is that if you select the accounts table and remove it from this schema, at the same time, it will also remove the column in here. So what happens when the AI, much as you gave it the Copilot, much as you gave it a lot of fields to add, it has missed some of the fields. So for example, if we want to add maybe a description to this department table, as you can see here, we only have the department name. What we can do is I'll select the table, click on view data, and then I can add the column here by adding by clicking on add new column. But as I said, that Copilot allows us to just tell it what we want. So I can select the department table and then tell it to say add a description field. Okay, whilst I've selected the department table, so Copilot will do its magic. Let's give it a second. And then Copilot has added a description. And as you can see here, I didn't even tell it to say the data type of the description field. It has already added it as a multi-line text field. So Copilot is smart enough to understand our language, English, and then translate that into workable schema. So even if for the employees table, I've selected the table, as you can see here, add phone number field, Copilot would do its magic. And as you can see here, sometimes it will also, error out to say something is wrong, etc., etc. You can click on try again. If it doesn't work, then I'll show you how we can now manually go into the table of the employees table and then add that field by ourselves. So I've selected the employees table and I can say view data. And as you can see here, we only have 3 fields, which is the employee name, the email address, the department. What I can do is I can just say a new column, and this one should call it phone number. And the data type should be phone number. And there we are. When we do that, you see that the phone number field is here. So yes, you can use the natural language in order for you to make edits to this database schema, but you can also just go into these different tables and then make those adjustments accordingly. When you are satisfied with everything that is here, you can just click on save and exit at the top, and then click on save and exit. And then what it will happen now is that the Copilot will save these tables. And remember, because we were creating the tables from our solution, all these tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables, they will be added to our solution. All right. Our tables are being created. We have got the approvals, we have got the departments, we have got the employees. Just for you to note that even including the forms, Copilot also creates those forms for us. What we can do is we can just go in, maybe make a few adjustments as to where certain information is positioned on the form, but everything else in terms of the views, the forms, Copilot has already handled that. All we can do from our end is to just, streamline it, kind of trim off a bit of fat in the way the items are being laid out, and if there are columns that we missed out, we can also make those adjustments as well. So from here, let's just quickly add a model-driven app so that we can add these tables in here and then see how everything will be translated here. So pilot test, and here I can add Dataverse tables. Publish. And now let's go ahead and play the app. And as you can see here, it also gives us sample data. And as you can see here, if I go to departments, here are the departments that we have. If I go to the employees, here are the employees that we have, including the leave requests. So here I've got my leave request here. The owner is also here. You have got the choice fields for the leave types, vacation, etc., and personal data. And we didn't even have to lift a finger in order for us to set all this up, including the forms, the views, everything. All we did was have a chat with Copilot. That's all we needed to do in this scenario. So I just wanted to take time to shed some light onto this subject, because yes, this looks like it's just a shortcut, but it's really a game changer for business users, because now you can build secure, scalable apps without waiting on IT or learning complex tools. Because what will happen is that Copilot will make the database design conversational, intuitive, and fast. So whether you're in HR, procurement, finance, operations, if you can describe your workflow, you can build your app. That's what I wanted to emphasize today. It has been me, Steven, and I wish you all a very good day.